Good day, folks, and welcome to another edition of Lumberjack Logic. I'm your host, Neil Johnson. So excited to bring you this report because Fani's goose is cooked. I've been watching the courtroom proceedings, and I'm pulling 4 clips for you here. But basically, Miss Merchant, that's Michael Roman's attorney, has been laying down the fire, and it is absolutely proven right now that the relationship between Nathan Wade and Fani Willis started prior to their disclosing it. Now, the first thing, the courtroom has been spicy all morning. Nathan Wade started by storming out. Partridge, who's one of the Fulton County attorneys, didn't even show up on time. He was supposed to be on the Zoom call. He wasn't even there on time. They're not showing honor to the court. But what gets really wild is eventually she started interviewing Terrence Bradley. And Terrence Bradley, this first clip I'm going to show you, informed the court that the National Bar Association gave him legal advice on how not to answer questions on Fani Willis and Nathan Wade. And you have to understand the reason this is important is because none of this was really covered under attorney-client privilege. It was covered ad nauseum, which got Ms. Merchant fired up. And then she talked about bringing Fani Willis on the stand. I'm going to show you that clip as well. But the bar has tried to disqualify every Trump attorney at this point and any pro-election attorney, any pro-election integrity attorney. So I want you to watch this clip first.
Refer to what I was told by the bar. That Rule 1.6, the confidentiality applies, and that I would be asking for an immediate review by the Supreme Court.
Sure, but applies to what?
Any communications is what the person at the bar told us.
Any communications?
He did not qualify.
If you talk to Mr. Wade, that's covered.
Well, Judge, I don't know. He didn't go into those specifics, but this is what was told. I was sitting there with my attorneys. Refer to what I was told by the bar, that Rule 1.6, the confidentiality applies, and that I would be asking for an immediate review by the Supreme Court.
Sure, but applies to what?
Any communications is what the person at the bar told us.
Any communications?
He did not qualify.
If you talk to Mr. Wade, that's covered.
Well, Judge, I don't know. He didn't go into those specifics, but this is what was told. I was sitting there with my attorneys.
I actually like this judge. He's not really putting up with all the BS that the defense is throwing up, because what they're saying is that this guy can't talk about anything because he was involved with Nathan Wade's divorce, he can't make any comments on observations or whatever. And because this is a case that involves perjury, that's not true. Ms. Merchant pointed that out because it's fraud to the court, but there was a whole host of other reasons. But I just wanted to show you that the bar itself is working in concert to try to take down Donald Trump. I mean, we are at a point where the justice system in America is so questionable. But I want to move on to this next witness and her testimony, because this is the real bombshell. This will prove to you that Fani Willis and Nathan Wade's relationship started long before they admitted to it.
Do you have personal knowledge of when Willis and Wade met?
Yes. She told me that they met at a conference. I don't know what.
Okay.
I'm going to renew my objection, Your Honor. Clearly, this is not firsthand information from this witness. It's hearsay that was...
But she said she told me.
Yes, it's statement against interest, Judge.
Ms. Merchant, I guess it's evolved into a hearsay objection.
Yes, Judge, and we plan on calling Ms. Willis to the stand. She's under subpoena, so hearsay will be cured. If there is a hearsay objection as far as that issue.
Ms. Merchant's getting fired up at this point because the defense is acting like total asses. But she goes on here and says that Fani Willis is being called to the stand, and so hearsay will be cured. And now the witness is going to testify to the timeline of that relationship.
Or what personal and romantic is later. When I ask you personal, do you take that to mean romantic?
Yes.
Okay. And do you understand it that their relationship began in 2019 and continued until the last time you spoke with her?
Yes.
That's the bombshell, people. The relationship started prior to and continued on after Nathan Wade was hired by Fani Willis, which shows a huge degree of impropriety. You can't just give your lover, and it also screws up Nathan Wade's divorce case. There's a whole bunch to this, and I've got Nathan Wade on the stand here next. I'm going to share that clip with you really quickly. Do want to mention my sponsor. That's Midas Gold. Midas Gold Group. You can get gold maple leafs, silver maple leafs. You can get free silver with a qualifying order if you text Lumberjack to 232-425. Or call them at 480-360-3000. Get yourself some real money, and you're dealing with veteran owners, not commissioned salespeople. This is where I get my gold and silver. Midas Gold Group, MidasGoldGroup.com.
This one actually has a number. I tabbed it for you, so you should be able to open right to the page. It's number 22. The question specifically is if you have any tangible evidence of any nature in your possession or control, or any other person or entity which relates to any manner of your activities to any person with whom you've had a sexual relationship during your marriage. Tangible evidence is notes, cards, letters, photos, films, recordings, documents, tapes, video recordings, receipts, invoices, and other tangible evidence.
Yes.
Okay. And you answered that you did not have any documents to that effect, correct?
Correct.
And that was on December 22nd, 2023?
Yes, ma'am.
You updated those responses again after the motion to disqualify was filed, though, correct?
When was the motion filed?
January 8th, 2024, when I filed the motion to disqualify you and alleged that you had a romantic relationship with Miss Willis.
Yes, ma'am.
After that, you updated these responses, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
And so your new responses, you now changed your answer from that you didn't have any of this to you're asserting the privilege under 24-5-505, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And both of these are under oath.
Yes, ma'am.
You also updated your response to the question about spending time with someone other than your spouse for dinner, drinks, things at restaurants, bars, hotels, or the other person's home, correct?
Yes, ma'am.
So in December of 2023, you said no to all that. And then in January, after I filed my motion, you said privilege to all that, Fifth Amendment privilege.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. And just to be clear, was it?
Sorry, I'm going to object the characterization of Fifth Amendment privilege. I think it was a statutory privilege, and that's quite different.
That's what I was just about to ask him. So that privilege covers infamy or Fifth Amendment privilege, correct?
So it was a privacy privilege is what I updated my response to do. Once you filed your motion to intervene in my divorce action, I then figured that you were in talks with my former wife's divorce lawyer.
Okay.
And because of that, I asserted a privacy privilege because I didn't want the proceedings of my divorce to bleed over into the proceedings in this case, which is the case that obviously you're involved in.
So your answers in December of 2023 that you didn't have any documents about any travel that you took with Miss Willis, that wasn't true though, correct?
They didn't ask me about any documents regarding Miss Willis.
A romantic partner. They asked you for documents regarding a romantic partner. So I'm sorry, I inserted Miss Willis's name. Let me rephrase the question. They asked you for documents about travel with a romantic partner in December 2023. And you under oath said you did not have any of those, correct?
I did not.
Okay.
And they asked me about gifts.
Right.
I've never purchased a gift for Miss Willis.
And they asked you about receipts for dinner, receipts for drinks, hotels, bars, and restaurants. And you said you did not have any of those.
I did not and do not have any receipts for any of those things.
Okay. And part of the civil discovery, they say that even if you don't have it in your pocket, if it's within your purview, you got to get it and give it to them, correct?
Your Honor, I'm going to object again to the relevance of the questions about the scope of civil discovery. I think she's asked him about statements he made in pleadings. The answers are already in the record. And
All right. To the extent you're trying to establish a prior mistruth, Ms. Merchant, I'll allow you to ask a few more follow-ups, but if it's not there, we have to move on.
Thank you. So in 2023, December, you said you didn't have any receipts.
I do not have any receipts. I did not have any receipts.
But you did travel with Miss Willis in 2023, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2022, correct?
I did.
And you traveled with her in 2021, correct?
No.
So you only traveled with her in 2022 and 2023.
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
That's what you recall?
Yes.
Okay. So you just don't remember if you traveled with her in 2021?
2022 and 2023 is what I recall.
Is what you recall. My question is, did you travel with her in 2021?
Not recalling any travel in 2021.
There you have it, folks. Lawyers are going to lawyer. I may not have them in my possession because I may have burned them. But the fact is, he's trying to use words like, I don't recall. And, I get it. A lawyer's going to lawyer. But I think we see what's going on here. We saw from the previous, Fani's goose is cooked. She is going to be eliminated. Eventually, she is going to be impeached. And that's going to be glorious for all of us. Remember to check out my sponsor, Midas Gold Group, where you can get yourself some real money. And we'll see you on the next episode. Remember, subscribe if you're new. Peace out.